Hello, my name's Kristen. I think, as you can already see from the title of this story, once I got into a rather ridiculous situation. Is it possible to get pregnant in a water park? Well, this is a common myth, but is that really so? Or an accident that can happen to anyone? This is what I'll tell you about today. Watch my story to the end to find out if swimming in a pool or in a water park may ever lead you to the same consequences. I'll start from the beginning. As far as I can remember, I've always loved swimming. Sea, pool, water park, doesn't matter. I felt like a fish in water everywhere. When I was a kid, I often went on vacation with my parents at the seaside, and we had a swimming pool at school. I even thought to start swimming professionally, but I had more love for dancing. Probably because I loved water so much, I decided the best place to celebrate my birthday would be a water park. I shared my idea with friends, and they happily supported me. I was sure the party would be active and we'd have a lot of fun, just like I always love. So I even convinced my mom to buy me a new swimsuit. I was supposed to be the most beautiful girl at my birthday party. Right before my birthday, me and my mom went shopping. We went to dozens of different stores, but I didn't like anything. Mom was already running out of patience, and I was already losing my hope to find something beautiful for myself when I saw a swimsuit that I just fell in love with in the last shop. It had a beautiful coral color, and it had a bunch of flirty laces. Maybe it was not the most convenient option for a water park, but I was sure all the girls would envy me. So, it's my birthday. In the morning, my friends and relatives congratulated me, and I got some fancy gifts. But I couldn't wait to be in the water park as soon as possible to have fun with my friends. I must say, the water park in our city is one of the largest and coolest in the whole country. Lots of slides, relaxation areas, jacuzzis, saunas, huge pools. Unsurprisingly, there were so many visitors on any day of the week. This day was no exception, but our group didn't pay any attention to anyone. We played, drank cocktails, swam, flew from the slides. Anyway, it was 100% fun. Of course, my new swimsuit attracted the attention of not only the girls who were green with envy, guys were also eyeing me all the time. They jokingly tried to pull the laces in order to eventually leave me without a swimsuit at all, but I dodged and ran away flirting. When our party was about to end, I plucked up my courage and climbed the highest slide. It was a closed, wide pipe that stretched almost across the entire area of the water park. The guys were standing nearby. They cheered me on, saying this would be a great finale to our party. Apparently, I was so excited, I didn't pay any attention how one of my friends pulled the lace and untied the knot holding the swimsuit panties on me. At the same moment, I sat on a floaty for descending the slide, and I quickly flew down. It was incredible. It was breathtaking. I screamed and laughed. In less than a minute, I was thrown out of the pipe into the pool. When I floated on the surface, I felt that something was wrong. I started to look around to see which side of the pool I should swim to, but then I noticed something of a coral color in the water, floating not far away from me. Literally a second was enough for me to understand this was part of my swimsuit, and it took me a second to realize which part exactly. It was such a shame. I stood in the middle of the pool, surrounded by a bunch of people and with no panties. And it would be fine if it was the sea with its muddy water, but in the water park, it was all crystal clear. And there was also a group of some unfamiliar adult guys floating nearby who looked with quite an interest in my direction. Immediately, I started waving my hands to my friends, showing that I needed help. Somehow, hiding behind, I tried to move in the right direction, but the current was carrying my swimsuit further and further. Fortunately, my GFs were there. They thought that I had some problems with my leg, and I just couldn't swim out. Almost sobbing, I pointed out to them where the part of my swimsuit was floating. Of course, they immediately swam after it and covered me while I was with no panties on. Seemed like this event didn't take even a minute, but my mood was ruined. I had a fight with the guys who made their stupid jokes about me, and I went home upset that such a party, which was going pretty cool, ended up at such an unpleasant moment. And probably I would have forgotten in just a couple of days. Anyway, okay, they joked, they laughed, I screwed up. But hey, nothing terrible had happened, huh? However, the next evening, my GF threw me a link in WhatsApp. There was an article there where some doctor discussed whether it was possible to get pregnant while swimming in the pool or not. Of course, this article immediately seemed absurd and ridiculous to me, because even in class at school, they explained to us when a girl could get pregnant. And there, you kinda need direct contact with a man anyway. No other options. The doc stated that everything is possible. And if a man, right before visiting the pool, or even right in it, let's say, de-stressed himself, then there was some degree of probability that the particles of his semen can reach the target after hitting the female genitals. And then I remembered I had no panties on, and I was next to a group of adult guys. No, this is ridiculous. So I closed this stupid article. It's all just Doc's fantasy. There's gotta be too many factors coinciding at the same time in one place. This is a 1 in a billion case after all. Definitely not mine. However, I couldn't let this thought go. One morning, I woke up from the fact I was terribly sick. The day before, me and my friends tried Mexican street food, and it was very spicy. Well, after, leaving my Mexican dinner in the toilet and refusing breakfast, I went to school with a terribly pale face. Of course, my GFs noticed the condition I was in, and they expressed their concern, recalling the article. But I still believe this simply couldn't happen to me. But I felt sick the next morning again. I vomited. In addition, some dizziness appeared. But the real panic took me back a couple of days later, when my period didn't come at the right time. Putting all the symptoms together, I realized they coincided with the pregnancy ones. But this can't be. I'm only 16. I'm still at school. What can I tell my parents? They'll never believe in such a stupid pool story. I didn't know what to do. Of course, the easiest option was to tell my mom everything, so that we could go to the doctor together. But I was terribly afraid. I also didn't have the courage to go to the pharmacy and buy a pregnancy test. As a result, my friend asked her older sister to sign me up to see a doctor in a private clinic. She promised that everything would be confidential, and no one would ever tell my parents. I was waiting for a doctor's appointment, surrounded by pregnant girls, and I just went crazy. I wasn't ready to become a mom. And besides, I couldn't even imagine who the father of my future kid was. It all looked like a bad movie or a prank. When I was in the doctor's office, I didn't even know where to start. My story seemed so strange, I couldn't imagine how a total outsider would react. I decided to start with the simplest, describing the symptoms. Of course, she immediately asked me when I had the last intimacy with a guy, and I answered, I've never had any intimacy. I'm a virgin. It was just an awfully stupid and awkward moment at the water park. I don't think it's worth telling you about the eyes the doctor had looking at me. She assured that it was definitely impossible to get pregnant in this way, and hinted that I was probably hiding something. But I had nothing more to tell her. Of course, she immediately ordered the necessary tests and examinations. And right on the spot, I decided to do an ultrasound, which would definitely show whether I was pregnant or not. And I was happy beyond any words when the ultrasound didn't show any pregnancy. It seemed to me I even cried at that moment, because I had no idea how I would tell my parents about my situation. And indeed, I was still a kid myself, and I definitely was not ready for this. It turned out I had some kind of problems with the pancreas, hence nausea, lack of appetite, lethargy, and my period could be delayed due to the changes in my hormone levels. The doctor prescribed me all the necessary medications and strictly forbade me to believe any internet myths. Anyway, this story ended up well for me, but the unpleasant feeling remained. Now, I try to avoid swimming pools and water parks because I recall my psychological state when I thought I was pregnant, and which lasted almost for a week. Do you often come across such myths on the internet? Have you ever believed in them, even if they seem totally ridiculous to you? Write about the things you read on the internet in the comments below. If you enjoyed my story, like it and subscribe to this channel. Turn on notifications so you never miss new stories. That's it for today. See you guys!